Volanguela o veteranu, ako itabua. Ako do talitay na barong na Bula FM, nambandua na sir.
Bula, alang gono ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti ni nambandua na sir.
Ni Bula binaka, nanregen go sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundo atibyo ng Bula FM nambandua na sir nusur.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang may lambasa. Do barong ng Bula FM, nambandua.
Bula FM, nambandua and
In the news tonight, Health Ministry working on removing all old equipment. Fiji Correction Service focus on young offenders. And no film or hard drive to store images from mammogram machines.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
The Health Ministry is in the process of removing aging equipment in all hospitals around the country. Health Minister Dr. Efremi Wainambete says they have started with the two major hospitals to ensure that best health services are provided with the best and capable equipment. Seniani Boiler reports.
Over 40 tons of aging equipment was removed from the Colonial War Memorial Hospital.
We had about 48 tons of old equipment and old beds and rubbish taken away from CWM just a few months ago. And now here in Lotoko, there's about 22 tons, maybe more as of today. And we need to continue to remove the aging equipment. We need to say this has a half-life or so, and so it's going to finish at this particular time and have a replacement pathway in place.
Dr. Wanganambete says the biomedical engineers are also monitoring the lifespan of other equipment to ensure they are disposed once they are not in use.
5.5 million has been allocated this year for the purchasing of equipment. As we continue to grow and new technology comes, and as you also know, with biomedical equipment, it has a lifespan of about 10 or 14 years, and new equipment does arrive, just like standard of care in medicine.
The Health Ministry currently has 7,159 working equipment and has spare parts allocations of $1.9 million this financial year. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
Two students aged 14 and 20 are believed to be the country's latest drowning fatalities. It's believed the victims from Waingalingali in Singatoka were bathing their horses in the Semo River when they disappeared after 2 p.m. yesterday. A search was conducted throughout the night and the bodies of the victims were recovered before midnight. A post-mortem will be conducted to ascertain the cause of the death. The drowning death toll stands at 24 compared to 28 for the same period last year. The dangers of criminal contamination or influence on young offenders is something the Fiji Correction Service is trying to avoid. Staff officer for the Yellow Ribbon program, Waisale Sokonakalo, says as a precaution, once their centres receive juveniles, they are transferred away from habitual inmates to Nasinu. Kelly Vidala reports.
Keeping younger offenders on track is a challenge for the Fiji Correction Service.
There are groups of offenders in Andaokia who are habitual. They are used to the system. They walk in and out, in and out. And what they do is to pollute these young offenders. So that's why we have the young offenders program at the National Correction Centers.
Staff Officer Songona Kalo says they work closely with the Fiji Higher Education Commission so these offenders can continue with education.
The main aim for that is for them to fall out from the school system, while in prison, back to the school system, receive their accredited certificates, then we look for other avenues like FNU or continue their studies in whichever relationship with the program that they are doing.
Director Rehabilitation Salote Panapasa says recidivists are becoming a concern.
When we go into detail about the record of recidivists, most of them committed very trivial offense. The only crime that they committed theft and larceny.
The Fiji Correction Service says they cannot work in isolation and need the public support in ensuring when inmates are released from correction facilities, they're able to make meaningful contributions in society. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The mammogram machine at the CWM Hospital Oncology Unit does not have film or hard drive to store images. A mammogram machine is designed to look only at breast tissue, and annual mammograms can detect cancer when it is most treatable. Lena Rees reports doctors are currently conducting mammograms by themselves.
Professor Eddie McCaig says they are facing difficulties conducting mammograms which are affecting cancer patients.
We did use a mammogram. We do a mammogram on the other side. That's great. Okay, I asked Dr. Boulder last week, how's the mammogram going? And he said, if you want a mammogram, come do it yourself. We don't have any more films, okay? And we don't have a hard drive to store pictures. So you do the mammogram, you look at it, you make the diagnosis, because we can't store any information on it. So mammograms are really out the door now.
Minister for Health Dr. Feremi Wangainambete says they are moving away from old films towards digitization of images for faster diagnosis.
The old way of doing it is actually taking pictures, which is the X-ray, and then going through the old way. So it goes into a dark room and gets soaked into certain chemicals, and then the film comes out. We've been moving away from that into a digitalized format. So a lot of our X-ray machines now are digitalized, including the CT scan and the MRI. So, when we take pictures, you can actually load it onto the computer. So you don't need to have films.
The minister also highlighted that though Fiji does not have screening mammographies, it has dedicated breast clinics in all 3 divisional hospitals, doctors, surgeons, and medical oncologists who have been trained in the management of breast cancer. Lena Rees, FBC News.
Up ahead, transportation still a major challenge for the sugar industry. And hard work pays off for makeup artists. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiana here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Transportation of cane to the mills for crushing continues to be an issue for the sugar sector as the railway system has been neglected for years. Permanent Secretary for the Prime Minister's Office, Yogesh Karan, says transportation cost is a huge challenge at the moment as the government is subsidizing by $5 million a year for truck operators. Kritika Kumar reports India has submitted the preliminary report to the government for the upgrade of our railway systems.
Permanent Secretary for the Prime Minister's Office, Yogesh Karan, says India has finally agreed that they will continue with the detailed study of our current railway system.
Rail is an issue because of the very old machine that FSC has. Naturally, it costs millions of dollars to replace that. Then the rail system, they did a feasibility study. They had submitted a report, preliminary report to the government of Fiji. So now the in-depth study will begin.
The new railway system is expected to improve the efficiency of transporting cane and at the same time reduce cane cartage cost even further.
And transportation is a huge cost at the moment. As you know, the government is subsidizing by $5 million a year for these truck operators to bring cane. So we want to get away from that so that we have a reliable truck system that costs are reduced to the farmers. End of the day, it's the farmer who pays.
The Permanent Secretary says the government is also providing tractors and 6-wheeler trucks to further assist cane farmers. Currently, there are 72 mechanical harvesters in the country. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
FD fines will be dished out to residents who continue to connect their water meters illegally. Infrastructure Minister Chone Osamate says residents have proper channels to follow when their water meters are disconnected. Osamate says WAF also has initiative for low-income earners who do not have enough to pay for their water bills. He adds failure to adhere to the rules when water meters are disconnected could lead to heavy penalties.
People are found guilty of doing that. They can be fined up to, I think it's $1 million for industry. So, the moral of the story is don't do it. If you need water, go through the mechanisms to make sure that you can get water legally, not illegal. But those fine systems are already there. We basically discourage any illegal connections or tampering with the systems that have been put in place by the Water Authority.
Fijians living in Vulovi, Lambasa will now be able to shop in style as a new supermarket has been opened by Shu Sundar, the director of Suntec Fiji Pte Limited. The supermarket is the second one, as the very first Suntec supermarket was opened in Savu. Speaking during the opening, Government MP George Venganathan says the new supermarket is unique and offers a modern upper-class facility for Fijians. Around $80,000 has been spent in setting up the supermarket.
This is one of those unique supermarkets which is fully air-con, so people will have another experience of upper grade of supermarket here in Lambasa. As we see that now the business settlements or business setups are moving away a little out of town, setting up businesses along the way so that it's convenient for our people.
Anything is possible with hard work and passion. On tonight's Successful Fijian, we talked to makeup artist Londoviko Valtak, whose years behind the cosmetics counter at a popular department store opened up his eyes to a career path that's made him his own boss. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
These days, Lotto, as his friends refer to him, is busy overseeing product launches, hosting makeup tutorials, and teaching others the do's and don'ts of good cosmetics.
It's probably taken me 15 years from the counter line, learning and training and jumping out into the fashion industry with my first fashion show, which was Fiji Fashion Week.
With makeup a billion-dollar industry globally, it's any wonder that the Suva Muslim school educated young man got in early on the buzz.
Makeup is a world of making people feel good about themselves, making people feel confident about themselves, making people feel powerful about themselves.
And it's been a daily lesson, Lotto says, from the basics of makeup behind the counter to now in front of it, advising many on its application.
And all learning, and then jumping into weddings, that was a totally different thing, and then afterwards photo shoots, commercials, and then to films, so that was pretty exciting.
While Lotto has worked in both makeup and hair, makeup has been his passion, with a growing film production here boosting his entrepreneurial chapter.
I worked with Bachelors in Paradise Season 1, Season 2, and with Love Island USA, which was the first season, so that was a big deal for me.
And with these popular shows shot in Fiji, Lotto has become a staple on their glam teams.
So yes, it was awesome. It was the best feeling I've ever had, and I think to get that opportunity around here in Fiji, it only comes once in a while, and showcasing your love of what you do.
For anyone inspiring to be a makeup artist, Lotto has this sage advice to share.
I like that makeup is not only something that you could kind of like use to kind of lift an appearance of, you know, a woman, a lady, a girl, but I like the feeling that when they walk out of the store, they feel so good about themselves, and for me, that's always a stamp on doing a really good job.
He also has some words for our flying Fijians getting ready to take on Georgia next week.
All I want to say is all the best to the boys out there having a game, good game. Go Fiji, go!
And as Lotto constantly reminds his clients, makeup magnifies that beauty that already exists. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Ahead in sports, flying Fijians determined to get back on track.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सब मिर्ची FM सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's #1. हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है। हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग खाली मिर्ची FM सुनता। गौल टाउन तावा में मिर्ची FM दागो मामा।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Getting their Rugby World Cup campaign back on track is what the Flying Fijians are aiming for. A lot rests in tonight's meeting between the Wallabies and Wales, which will determine Fiji's future in the competition. But head coach John McKee says they are determined to get back to their winning ways.
I'm pleased with the way the boys have refocused. We did have a training-free day yesterday with all the travel and the short turnaround they really needed to freshen up, but it was back to business today. We had a very good team meeting, discussed a lot of things, and really got our focus really back on track to put in a performance that can make everyone proud of in our next outing. Today's training.
Japan's 19-12 victory over Ireland last night has moved them to their best ever rank in the World Rugby rankings. Now ranked 8th in the world, the hosts now are in a position to even finish top of Pool B with 2 games left against Samoa and Scotland. Aquila Dama with the story.
It will go down as a second magnificent day in Japanese rugby.
The result comes 4 years after Japan famously shocked the rugby world by beating 2-time world champion South Africa at the 2015 World Cup. Many thought Ireland would ease past Japan following their 2 successive tries last night.
McCarthy again towards that right wing. Oh, that's brilliantly taken by Gary Ringrose. The less inclined they are to move it. It's the free play it's going to be.
But the boot of fly half Yu Tamura kept Japan within striking distance as they trailed 9-12 at half-time. It was a different ball game altogether in the second spell, with Japan keeping Ireland scoreless.
Free play, Tanaka looks up. Lafayette, it's going to be the try for the new player, Kenki Fukuoka.
Japan coach Jamie Joseph and captain Peter Labuschagne says they can't get ahead of themselves as 2 more games remains.
Everyone going out and training every day, and like Coach rightly said, there was a massive belief within the squad.
At the moment, we're just sort of really improving, really enjoying tonight's. I had no thought about going any further forward.
This was not a result born of Irish indiscipline, but of a truly stunning Japanese performance in front of a passionate crowd that lifted their side with every meter gained, tackle made, and turnover won. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Airways Drua will need to win their next 2 matches with maximum points to make the NRC semi-finals. The side went down to the Canberra Vikings 28-41 in Australia yesterday. Organisers of the Nambucalevu Ira Sevens in Kandavu are hopeful the national 7 side will return this year. Last year, head coach Gareth Baber took players like Kalione Nasoko, Joshua Vakurinambili, Alosio Nanduva, Jerry Tuwai and Apenisa Dhakambaolavu to the tournament. This year, top teams have been confirmed for the Nambucalevu Ira Sevens in 2 weeks' time, including Ulu Nakau, Nanranga Stallions, Ratufilise, Waimanu and First Light Taviuni. The tournament will be held at the Nambucalevu Ira Primary School grounds from the 9th to the 11th of next month. The Fiji under-23 football captain Savinatha Mbalenrokanroka says the side is now focused on their semi-final clash with New Zealand in the OFC Olympic qualifiers.
He'll prepare well for the next semi-final coming up, New Zealand.
Defending Battle of the Giants champion Lambasa will head into the 2019 Courts IDC with some much-needed boost. Yesterday, the team was surprised by the owners of the newly opened Suntec supermarket in Lambasa with a $5,000 sponsorship for the IDC. Lambasa manager Nilesh Lal says the assistants will surely cover their preparation costs before the IDC from the 8th to the 13th of next month at Prince Charles Park in Nadi.
I think it was a very timely sponsorship from Suntec Fiji Pty Limited. I think the sponsorship has boosted our preparation towards the 2019 IDC that is starting on the 8th of October next month. I think this sponsorship will help us in terms of our meal and accommodation and player allowances, which is, if you see that Lambasa is a travelling team, the only team that will travel from north as far as Premier Division is concerned.
Banuve Tamacaudoro managed to qualify for round 1 of the World Athletics Championship in Doha, Qatar. Banuve was 5th fastest in the preliminary round when he came 2nd in his 100 meters heat in 10.5 seconds. The Pacific champion then went on to round 1 of the 100 meters and finished in 8th position with the same time of 10.5 seconds. Tamacaudoro was the only one of the 11 Pacific Islanders who qualified for round 1. The Republic of the Fiji military forces were crowned champions in both the open men and women's competition of the 2019 Vodafone Westpac Nandi International Volleyball Tournament. The side, which had former national reps Aparosa Salauda and Ilaitia Vakandra, beat TFL in the men's at Mount St. Mary School Ground in Nandi yesterday. The RFMF women's team won the final after Fiji Police White was disqualified for fielding 2 players who breached the competition rules. There was a total of 180 teams from 77 companies and 2 embassies that took part in the one-day event.
Speaking to the American ambassador and to the Australian High Commissioner last night, we have plans in spreading our wings and inviting teams from overseas to come in and have a cross-cultural experience and be part of this wonderful social and charity family that gets together once in a year.
The Roosters will meet Canberra Raiders in the NRL Grand Final next Sunday after beating the Melbourne Storm 14-6 in the semi-final last night. Today, occasional showers was experienced over the eastern parts and the interior of Viti Levu, the Lau and the Lamai Viti group. Now in the west, it was fine apart from afternoon or evening showers. And eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, there were occasional showers. Isolated thunderstorms and heavy falls were forecast and experienced in the afternoon as well as evening. And up north, it was fine apart from afternoon or evening showers that were experienced with thunderstorms. Now at sea, a strong wind warning remains in force for all Fiji waters. For the tides, low tide will be at 6:37 p.m. with high tide at 12:32 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can expect sunrise to be at 5:50 a.m. Now for tomorrow, there will be cloudy periods with some showers over the eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands. It should be fine apart from afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And as we look further on to Tuesday, the occasional showers will remain over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Recapping the main stories, Health Ministry working on removing all old equipment. Fiji Correction Service focus on young offenders. And no film or hard drive to store images for mammogram machines. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. On to our poll question segment. This week, we're asking, should match officials who make blunders at Rugby World Cup be severely reprimanded? You can visit our FBC website to answer. Or do send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. Until next time, good night.
Navango Maria, Maramani Waya, Manatu Sawa, waiting to Tunde Nandi, Yaundo Marataka, Navarro, and Radio Fiji One.
Yawa Asna Vatili, Yawa Mara Monica. Tondo Barro Vale, Bonardoma Viti Lambasa.
Pula, Nadango Prosa Nangarse, Goer Kraki, the Televio Navarro and Radio Fiji One, Nadomi Viti. Nadango Chanibukia, Omoni Namosi, and the Talita Navarro and Radio Fiji One, Nadomi Viti.